Hey everyone, my name is Matt Jarbo. Yesterday, Gina Carano sat down with Ben Shapiro for a long form interview that was nothing more than a corporate puff piece. And we're going to be talking about that right now. Hey guys, how you guys all doing today? So listen, yesterday there was this big release, this big long Gina Carano interview with Ben Shapiro from the Daily Wire that a lot of people, myself included, were very much interested to see how it was going to play out, interested to see what she was going to say. I was waiting for her first public statements before officially putting this particular situation to bed because I was hoping for something that I would at least see as being, I don't know, like a redemption of some kind or an understanding of what happened or an actual interview that challenged certain things. And that would be good for her to explain her thought process and then go from there. And to some extent that happened. But for the most part, it was, wow. It was a waste of time, to be honest with you. It was absolutely a waste of time because all it was Ben Shapiro protecting his most recent financial investment. He was protecting a financial asset. That's quite frankly all it was. This was a puff piece. This was just a softball interview. This was nothing hardcore, nothing really too deep. And Ben controlled everything about the interview, and he did it in such a way where he even went as far as to explain things to Gina Carano that she had said or posted and to give clarification for her so she wouldn't have to actually say it herself. And that was probably, in my opinion, the most frustrating thing about this interview and why it was so bad. A journalist, if that's what you want to call Shapiro, I don't know what he calls himself, a pundit, definitely, an opinion piece, whatever. You know, he's going to protect what he's going to protect, considering the fact that that whole thing ended with them talking about her now working with Daily Wire on this movie because Shapiro reached out to her after everything had gone down and brought her on board. So that's the whole thing, is it wasn't like this was happening before she was fired. This happened because she was let go. And it's a reaction to cancel culture as a way to, I don't know, use coupon code Gina for 25% off your Daily Wire subscription. This is the whole point. Everything that's been going on, and she's being absolutely played by Shapiro, by the Daily Wire, by the right, by culture warriors who are grifting on Gina Carano's corpse right now. And unfortunately, she doesn't even see it. She doesn't see it because, look, my interpretation off of what I watched yesterday was that she's naive. Gina Carano is naive. She admits it. She admits it. She says that she never got into politics because politics never turned her on, and she doesn't pay attention to things that don't turn her on, which is kind of a weird turn of phrase. But I don't think she was being ingenuine, which is another word she used multiple times, which I felt was something she had recently learned, to be honest with you. Like, that's, you know how it is when you find a new word and you kind of find a way to weave it into a situation. That's how I think that whole thing played out. But the reason why I say that is because she admits she never got into politics until 2020. Gina Carano is 38 years old. I am 38 years old. We are the same age. I just find the kind of affluent nature of where she's been for her career in MMA fighting and acting, being insulated from the world around her to an extent. She doesn't have to focus on the real world issues because she's part of this bubble, the same bubble that Shapiro is so desperate to be a part of. And so she didn't understand anything, and she doesn't get it. She didn't take the time to understand it. She kind of admits that. She says that she went to go and vote. It was her first time voting this year. Again, 38 years old, first time voting. Good for her. Glad she did it. And she didn't quite like how the whole thing played out because it was on a hut on the beach. She didn't have to provide her driver's license. And she was really curious about all the situations involving voter fraud. But at the same time, she doesn't understand a lot of the accusations that were made about voter fraud, how there was no widespread voter fraud. That has been confirmed by multiple people, multiple investigations into the individual states where those queries and accusations were made. The Supreme Court refused the Donald Trump, team to advance further into the voter fraud claim just the other day for Arizona. They can't do it because there's nothing there. It was a dumb argument from Justice Clarence Thomas, but it doesn't matter. All I'm saying is, like, every time there's been voter fraud accusations, nothing has come from it, with the exception of finding out that Trump supporters illegally voted for Donald Trump with other people. That's where there's been cases, confirmed, provable cases. So when I had said to Gina Carano on Twitter, because she was talking about Pennsylvania, and I mentioned to her that a Republican-led GOP legislature voted that mail-in ballots could not be counted until in-person ballots were counted that day at the end of Election Day. She blocked me. I wasn't mean. I wasn't mean-spirited. I wasn't attacking her. I wasn't attacking anything. I was explaining how this thing came to be using facts. And she blocked me, but she says in this interview, I'm open to other people's opinions. No, she's not. She'll block you if you disagree with her. And that shows an ignorance to the subject matter. That shows that she's looking for an echo chamber. It shows naivety. It shows a misunderstanding of what's going on. Same thing with the masks. Same thing with the masks. She posts these memes. And I said this the other day in a live stream. I said this too. I said, you know what it is? I said, go look on any one of your Facebook family members or Instagram family members accounts that are conservative, or their Twitter accounts, and just look at how many times they repost conservative memes without any commentary, right? They repost without any commentary whatsoever. And that is what ultimately got Gina in trouble when she reposted that TikTok thing about the Holocaust on her Instagram without any commentary. And people also had brought up another image that was a modification of a very anti-Semitic image that came out of England, or I forget who the artist was, but it was anti-Semitic in nature, and then it was repurposed, not anti-Semitic, but she still posted it, so it had its roots, its origins in anti-Semitism. So when people were criticizing it, she didn't understand any of that because all she did was repost it. The same thing with the Holocaust quote. She just reposted it. Now, she says in the interview that her intent was to get people to think. But she didn't think. She did not make any commentary about that. She did not tell anyone to think. She did not say that to anyone to think. She simply, what was in her, she's like, well, basically, I thought it, but she never said it. She never provided commentary on what she was posting to reason why she was posting what she was posting. So when you think about the situation, when you think about the things that she had done, the things that she had said, the things that she got in trouble for, the things people got mad at her for, instead of trying to truly explain what it was that she was attempting to say, she kept doubling down. And then she got angry because there was a groundswell of voices that were against her. And that's easy to do, by the way. When you've never experienced anything like this before, it is very easy to go into self-protect mode. That is why our egos are how they are. They protect us. And that causes you to sometimes do stupid crap. And that's what happened with Gina here, is she was backed into a corner, metaphorically. She felt that way. So she just kept doubling down, not quite understanding the situation. When she talked about Lucasfilm coming to her, or Disney coming to her, and telling her, hey, like, you stepped on a landmine, she still didn't understand that what they're saying is, do not continue down this path, because you cannot answer an emotional question with a logical answer, which I thought that was a good part of the interview, because I agree with her. There's so many times the right and the left respond with emotion rather than fact, and that is true. And I agree with her completely. But again, at the same time, you have to understand what you're up against, who you're up against, and have a tactful point going forward. You have to have a plan. She had no plan. She just kept doubling down. But because she had that support structure from people that were using the hashtag We Love Cara Dune or We Love Gina Carano or whatever, and those are the kind of people that support these kind of memes, that support these kind of idiotic theories about voter fraud. I mean, look at Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers, right? He's out there, I support Cara Dune, but he was out there too going like, Donald Trump had the election stolen, until the lawsuits started coming out, and then he got real quiet. You know what I mean? Like, because it's all a grift to these people, to Ben Shapiro, to Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers, to the Quartering, to all of these people. All it is a grift. It's a grift. They can feast on her corpse. They can prop her up and use it as a way to attack Lucasfilm, which has made them untold amount of money, because that is how they pay their rent and that is how they fill their coffers. They are using Gina Carano, her career, her future, and her naivety as a way to profit. And that is why that interview was so terrible, because it showcased exactly what I had been saying, that Gina is a well-intentioned, sweet individual who doesn't understand politics and is not smart on that front. And as a result of that, people are using her, they are influencing her, and they have put her down this path of career suicide because they will be the ones who profit. And that is what's sad about that. That no one in her inner circle could talk her out of acting this way. And again, it all goes back to being stubborn. So it's terrible. It's sad. I feel really bad for Gina. I really do. She'll be fine. She has millions of dollars. She's fine overall. You know, but eventually she's going to come back around, and eventually when they're done with her, you know, she's not, that is unless she's going to become the next Kevin Sorbo, who is probably never going to come back into any kind of mainstream work. Or Gina's going to go back to fighting, you know, but then again, like, you have your prime years for fighting. She's coming up on 40 pretty quick. You know, I'm not saying she can't do it, but I'm saying it's like those prime years are kind of in the past. And you know what? I wish her the best. I really do. I'll watch her movie when it comes out. I'm not going to use coupon code Gina for 25% off of a membership for something that's going to happen a couple years down the road. And I hope she gets better advisors that will steer her the right path. For you can have your opinions about stuff. I don't care, but be factual about it. If you're the people who are saying she's a conservative, that's why she was headhunted. That's not the case. She was posting dumb stuff on social media, and it caught the attention of Disney. And of course they were tracking it, which is just like, that revelation was so weird. You know, I don't know. It's a person who doesn't understand how the world around her operates. And she was played a fool by many people, in my opinion. So this is the last I'm going to talk about it, but I was asked to give my thoughts and my opinions on it. I wish her the best. I really do. I hope she sees more value in herself. I mean, to start actually doing, you know, more research on it and having a more knowledgeable, factual opinion. And then has the eye-opening of the people around her and sees exactly what they are and how they are simply, well, using her, because that's what's happening. Anyway, I'm curious to know your guys' thoughts about this. Let me know down in the comment section. It's going to be a lot of fun to read what you guys have to say. I'll talk to you all later. Have yourself a great day, and peace out.